Ladies and gentlemen of my Alpha family, the time has come to speak about the battles that we've faced and the ones we've yet to fight. They made you a joke, but let me tell you something. Karma had the last laugh. It's in the nature of the weak to underestimate the strength of the strong and to ridicule what they cannot understand. But in that darkness, in those moments where they laughed at you, where they tore you down, where they mocked you and tried to break you, they did not know that what they were doing was planting the seed of your rise. They thought they could turn you into a joke, something to laugh at, something to ignore, to undermine, to belittle. But what they did not realize, what they failed to see, was that you were never the joke. You were the punchline, the inevitable end to a story they didn't even know they were writing. You were always meant to stand tall, to break through their ridicule, to overcome their insults. They didn't realize that they weren't tearing you down. They were building you up, forging you into something they could never destroy. There's a certain magic in the way they'll try to label you, to define you, to make you small. They think that their laughter is a reflection of your worth, but in reality, it's nothing more than a projection of their own insecurities. See, they have to laugh at you because they fear what you could become, what you could achieve. They know that when you rise, they won't be able to stand in your shadow. So they try to break you, try to make you doubt yourself, to tear at the foundation of your confidence. But they never understood something so simple, yet so powerful. Their mockery was the fuel that kept your fire burning. When they made you a joke, they didn't realize they were drawing attention to your greatness. They made you the underdog, the target of their ridicule, thinking they could break you. But in doing so, they underestimated you. They underestimated the depth of your spirit, the strength of your will. They didn't know that your pain would transform into power, that their scorn would sharpen your resolve, that their lies would become the truth of your triumph. They thought they were tearing you down, but in reality, they were unknowingly building you into something unstoppable, something they could never predict. And so, you stood. You didn't fight back with words or hatred. You didn't waste your time with petty insults or childish games. You didn't need to. Instead, you grew stronger. You kept your focus, and you kept moving forward. You embraced the silence, the solitude, the moments where they thought they had broken you. You became the thing they feared most, a force of nature, a whirlwind that couldn't be contained. As time passed, the tides began to shift. The laughter, once so loud and deafening, began to fade. It didn't take long for the world to realize something they had missed. You were never meant to stay down. You were never the joke. You were always the warrior, the survivor, the force that would rise no matter how many times they tried to push you into the dirt. What they didn't understand, what they never could understand, was that karma was always on your side. The very force they mocked, the very thing they tried to dismiss, was the force that would have the last laugh. It doesn't take long for the universe to reveal its truth. It doesn't take long for the tables to turn, and when they do, you'll see that those who once laughed at you, those who called you weak, those who thought they could break you, will be the ones left wondering how they lost. Karma isn't always something that happens immediately. Sometimes it takes time. Sometimes it moves slowly, but it's always inevitable. It always comes, and when it does, it hits harder than any insult ever could. You see, the thing about karma is that it doesn't need you to do anything. It doesn't need you to fight, to argue, or to waste energy on getting even. It simply does its work, and when it does, it doesn't miss. It finds those who tried to tear you down, and it makes sure they see what they've done. It makes sure they feel the weight of their own actions. And when karma finally finds them, they will understand that they never had the power over you that they thought they did. They'll regret every time they laughed at you. They'll regret every time they tried to silence you, to crush your spirit, to turn your pain into a joke. They'll regret every word, every action, every moment they thought they could break you. And when that moment comes, when karma delivers its verdict, you'll be standing tall. You'll be stronger, smarter, and more successful than they ever imagined. And while they're left to pick up the pieces of their broken egos, you'll be moving forward, leaving them in your dust. But don't take pleasure in their downfall. Don't waste time celebrating their failure, because in truth, karma is a teacher, and its lesson is for everyone involved. It's not about watching them suffer or feeling satisfaction in their loss. No, the true lesson is understanding that everything they did to you, every insult, every laugh, every attempt to make you small, was merely a chapter in your story. You are not the victim here. You are the hero. You are the one who fought, the one who survived, the one who rose. And in that rise, you found your true power. Karma is the great equalizer. It does not need our help. It does not need our interference. It simply delivers its judgment, and we are either victims of our own actions or beneficiaries of our strength. You see, the reason they mocked you, the reason they underestimated you, was because they didn't understand what it takes to rise from the ashes, what it takes to stand when everyone else expects you to fall. They didn't see the battle you fought within yourself. They didn't see the sleepless nights, the tears, the struggles, the sacrifices. But you did. You saw it all, and you kept going. You kept pushing. You kept fighting. You kept believing in yourself, even when the world didn't. And now, here you are. You stand at the summit of your success, your power, your strength. And they're left behind. They're stuck in the past, haunted by the choices they made, by the things they said, by the ways they tried to bring you down. They thought you would never get here. They thought they could break you. But now, they can only watch as you live the life they thought you would never have. And in that moment, in that quiet victory, karma will have the last laugh. You see, their laughter was never the end of your story. It was the beginning of their own downfall. Their mockery was the catalyst for your rise. And now, as they sit and watch you conquer everything they thought you could never have, they will realize too late that they were never in control. They were never the ones who held the power. It was always you, always. So let them laugh, let them speak their lies, let them try to tear you down. Because every time they do, you will rise higher, you will grow stronger, and karma will be waiting. And when it comes, you'll see that they were never your enemy. Their actions were just the fuel you needed to become everything they feared. And when the dust settles, when the last laugh is had, it will be you who stands victorious. You who rises above. You who proves them all wrong. You are the proof that karma always gets the last laugh. And in that laugh, in that triumph, you'll know that the joke was never on you. It was always on them. Every word they spoke, every glance they cast in your direction, every sneer they directed at your dreams and your ambitions. It was never about you. No, it was always a reflection of their own fears, their own inadequacies. You see, the world is a mirror, and those who look into it with malice often see their own darkness reflected back at them. What they couldn't understand was that your light was never meant to be diminished by their shadows. You were never a joke. You were the hero of your own story, and they were nothing more than temporary distractions. When they laughed, they failed to see the resilience behind your eyes. They didn't recognize the silent battle that raged within you, the war that was fought not on external fronts, but deep within your heart and soul. They never saw the strength that carried you through the darkest days, the days when all you had was your willpower to hold on, They couldn't see that every time they made you feel small, they were only pushing you toward the greatness they feared. There is a profound kind of strength in silence, in the way you endured without showing them the full depth of your pain. They never knew that when they mocked you, when they made you their joke, you were only becoming more resolute. The pain they thought would break you only tempered your spirit, shaping you into something far more powerful than they ever imagined. And that's the irony they'll never be able to grasp. While they were laughing at your struggle, they didn't see the seeds of victory you were planting with every challenge you faced. It's easy for people to mock what they don't understand. It's easy for them to ridicule what scares them. But what they failed to realize is that your struggle was never something they were meant to understand. It was your path, your fight, and every battle you fought was an investment in your future. Every time they tried to tear you down, they were only unknowingly aiding your transformation. You were never meant to fit into their expectations. You were never meant to be defined by their limitations. And they failed to recognize that while they saw you as a joke, they were merely spectators in a story they would never truly be part of. They saw you as weak, fragile, unable to stand on your own 2 feet. But what they didn't understand was that you were only biding your time. You were preparing for the day when the tables would turn, when you would rise and show them that all of their laughter was built on nothing more than their own fear of what you could become. You were always playing a different game, a longer game, one that was meant to outlast their mockery and their derision. And as time passed, you continued to grow. You kept moving forward, learning, adapting, and strengthening yourself in ways they could never comprehend. When they made you a joke, they thought they had diminished you. They thought they had reduced you to nothing more than the butt of their laughter, a fleeting moment of amusement in the grand scheme of their lives. But what they failed to see was that their actions were like a slow-burning fuse leading to a powerful explosion of your success. They thought their ridicule would break your spirit, but instead, it fueled your fire. Every insult, every sneer, every attempt to knock you down only propelled you to new heights. You took their negativity and used it to propel yourself forward, each step more determined than the last. In the moments when you felt alone, in the moments when you were forced to stand on your own, you realized something that they never would. You realized that you didn't need their approval, their validation, or their acceptance. You didn't need them to understand your journey. What you needed was the strength to keep moving forward, to keep fighting, and to keep believing in the vision you held for yourself, no matter how impossible it seemed at the time. And that belief, that unshakable conviction in your own potential, became the very thing that would carry you to victory. Karma, my friends, is not some abstract concept or some distant force that operates outside the laws of the universe. Karma is the energy you put out into the world, and it always finds its way back to you. You see, while they were laughing at you, they were unknowingly creating their own downfall. They were sowing the seeds of their own misery. They thought that by ridiculing you, by belittling you, they were somehow elevating themselves. But in reality, they were only sinking deeper into their own pit of negativity and insecurity. Every time they laughed at you, they dug their own grave. And every time they tried to knock you down, they strengthened your resolve to rise higher. The beauty of karma is that it operates on its own timeline. It doesn't need us to intervene. It doesn't need us to fight back or get revenge. All we have to do is stay the course, keep moving forward, and trust that the universe will handle the rest. And that's the true power of karma. It doesn't need our interference. It doesn't need us to stoop to their level or waste our energy trying to make them feel the pain they caused us. No, karma will find its way to them, and it will do so with a precision and timing that no human being can ever control. When they tried to break you, when they made you feel like you were nothing, they never realized that their actions were only accelerating their own downfall. Every insult, every mockery, every attempt to make you feel small was like a ticking clock. They thought they were getting away with it, that their actions would go unnoticed, but they were wrong. Because karma was always watching, always waiting for the moment when it would come crashing down upon them with the force of a tidal wave. And when it did, when karma arrived at their doorstep, they would realize too late that the very actions they took to tear you down were the ones that would lead to their destruction. But what's most important, my friends, is not their downfall. What's most important is the realization that we are not victims in this story. We are the heroes. We are the ones who have fought, who have persevered, who have endured despite the odds. And when karma arrives, when it delivers its justice, we will not rejoice in their pain. We will not take pleasure in their suffering. No, we will stand tall, knowing that our strength, our resilience, and our ability to rise above it all is the true victory. Karma is not about revenge. It's about balance. It's about the universe righting the wrongs and restoring order to the chaos that others may try to create. It's about the energy you put out into the world returning to you in ways you could never anticipate. And while you don't have to lift a finger to make it happen, you have to understand that karma is not just about punishing those who wronged you. It's also about rewarding those who stood strong, who persevered, and who refused to let the negativity of others define their path. As you rise, as you continue to climb higher and higher, never forget that your journey was never just about you. It was about proving to yourself and to the world that nothing, not their mockery, not their laughter, not their attempts to tear you down, could ever break your spirit. It was about showing the world that you are stronger than their doubts, that you are more powerful than their fears, and that you are capable of achieving things they never even dreamed possible. And as you stand at the peak of your success, remember that their laughter will fade into the background. It will become a distant memory, a faint echo of a time when they tried to make you feel small. But you will remain. You will continue to rise, continue to thrive, and continue to prove that no matter how hard they tried to break you, no matter how much they laughed at you, you were always meant for greatness. In the end, karma does not need us to feel anger, bitterness, or resentment. It only requires us to keep moving forward, to keep striving for the best version of ourselves, and to trust that the universe will handle the rest. You were never their joke. You were always the proof that strength, resilience, and determination can defy even the harshest ridicule. And now, as they look at you from the sidelines, they will finally see what you always knew. The joke was never on you. It was always on them. And in that realization, my friends, is the power you need to carry forward. They underestimated you. They laughed at you. They tried to make you feel less than what you are. But in the end, their actions are nothing but a reflection of their own flaws and insecurities. They thought they could control your destiny by tearing you down, by poking fun at your struggles, by making you feel insignificant. But what they never realized is that all they were doing was confirming to the universe that you were worth something far greater than they could ever understand. And now, as you stand at the peak of your journey, you need to understand one thing. The process of becoming who you are was never meant to be easy. Greatness is not born in comfort. It is forged in adversity. Every trial, every insult, every time they laughed, every time they tried to belittle you, it all served a purpose. You were meant to go through it. You were meant to rise above it. They couldn't break you because you were never meant to be broken. You were always meant to transform, to evolve, and to outgrow the limitations they placed upon you. In the face of their ridicule, you discovered your true strength. You learned what it means to persist when everyone around you doubts you. You learned how to turn pain into power, how to turn the darkness into light, how to use the very tools they thought would destroy you as weapons for your own growth. And now you can stand tall and proud, knowing that everything they said about you was wrong. They couldn't see it then, but they will see it now. You are a force to be reckoned with. You are a testament to resilience, to the power of belief, and to the undeniable truth that no one can define your worth except for you. Think back to those moments when you were at your lowest, when you felt as though the weight of the world was pressing down on you, when their laughter echoed in your ears, and when their judgment seemed to pierce your soul. Those moments were the crucible in which you were tested, forged, and ultimately strengthened. In those moments, when they tried to make you small, when they tried to box you in and define you by their standards, you learned how to rise above it. You discovered the power within yourself to push forward when every instinct told you to stop, to fight when the odds were stacked against you, to persist when failure seemed like the only option. But what they didn't know, what they never could have known, was that their laughter wasn't a sign of your weakness. It was a sign of their fear. Fear of what you might become, fear of what they might never be. They needed to laugh at you because they couldn't bear the thought of you surpassing them. They needed to belittle you because they were afraid that you might outgrow them, that you might achieve the very things they had always wished for, but never believed were possible for them. And that fear, that insecurity, is what made them lash out at you. It's what caused them to laugh at your pain instead of understanding the incredible journey you were on. But my friends, let me tell you this. Their laughter was the soundtrack to your success. Their mockery was the backdrop to your rise. They were too blinded by their own weaknesses to see that everything they did to you was nothing more than a catalyst for your transformation. Every cruel word, every attempt to make you feel small, was just another stone placed in the foundation of your greatness. They built the very platform that would carry you higher than they could ever imagine. They didn't understand it then, but they will understand it now. They made you a joke, but what they failed to see is that the punchline was never meant for you. The punchline was always meant for them. And now, as you rise, as you claim your place in this world, you need to carry with you the understanding that your strength comes not from avoiding adversity, but from embracing it. You didn't let their laughter deter you. You didn't let their mockery define you. You didn't let their attempts to tear you down break your spirit. You stood firm. You stayed true to your vision. And now, the world will see that you were always the one they should have feared, the one they should have respected, the one they should have never tried to diminish. This is not about revenge. This is not about taking pleasure in their downfall. This is about understanding that everything they did to you was a lesson in disguise. Every time they laughed at you, they were showing you who they truly were. Every time they tried to break you, they were revealing their own weaknesses. And as you rise, as you succeed, as you show the world your true power, you will realize that their attempts to tear you down were never personal. They were just manifestations of their own inadequacies. They were always scared of your potential, and in their fear, they tried to make you doubt your own. But now, the tables have turned, and they will be the ones left behind, watching as you thrive. Remember this: their laughter is not your failure. It is their fear. It is their insecurity. It is their inability to see your true potential. They were so focused on trying to make you small, trying to control your narrative, that they missed the truth, that you are destined for greatness. They will never be able to take that away from you. They will never be able to diminish the power within you. No matter how hard they try, you will rise above them. You will succeed in ways they can't even imagine. And as you rise, remember that karma is always watching, always taking notes, always waiting for the right moment to strike. Karma is not about instant gratification. It's not about seeing immediate payback for the wrongs done to you. Karma is about the natural order of the universe. It's about balance. It's about the truth always coming to light. And as you continue on your journey, know this: karma will find its way to those who tried to break you. It will find its way to those who laughed at you, who doubted you, who tried to make you feel insignificant. They will face their own consequences, not because you sought revenge, but because the universe has a way of balancing the scales. What they sow, they will reap. And when karma delivers its judgment, you will not need to say a word. You will simply keep moving forward, knowing that your success, your growth, and your rise is all the evidence anyone will need to see that you were never the joke. You have been underestimated. You have been laughed at. You have been belittled, ridiculed, and cast aside. But none of that will stop you. None of that will define you. In the end, it was never about what they thought of you. It was always about what you believed in yourself. It was about your vision, your strength, and your refusal to let anyone else define your worth. And now, as you stand at the top of your journey, with everything you've fought for within your grasp, know that it's not just your success that matters. It's the fact that you've proven to yourself and to the world that no matter what they threw at you, no matter how many times they laughed at you, no matter how many obstacles they put in your way, you were always destined for greatness. Their mockery was never a reflection of your reality. It was a reflection of theirs. And now, you stand as living proof that the joke was never on you. It was always on them. And so, my Alpha family, I ask you to remember this. The next time someone tries to belittle you, the next time someone tries to make you feel small, the next time someone laughs at your dreams, remember that karma is always working in your favor. They may have made you a joke, but in the end, it was their ignorance, their insecurity, and their fear that made them the punchline. And as you rise, as you claim what is rightfully yours, let them watch from the sidelines as you prove that no one, no matter how much they laugh, can ever define your worth. Your success will be your response. And in the end, that is the only thing that matters. In the end, my friends, the joke was never on you. It was always on them. They underestimated your strength, your resilience, and your potential. Their mockery only fueled your rise. And now, as you stand victorious, you've proven that no one can define your worth but you. Karma has had the last laugh, and as you move forward, let your success be the ultimate reply to those who tried to tear you down. Keep rising, keep thriving, and remember, their laughter was just the soundtrack to your greatness.